Okay, so I'm at another cemetery. I'm not gonna dwell on cemeteries really, but they are kind of fun to visit sometimes for historical reasons. The story of this guy is really creepy. This is the guy that's considered one of the top suspects for Jack the Ripper. Back in the old days, before the internet, you'd have to go to the library to get a book or a magazine and hear the stories about Jack the Ripper and the Whitechapel murders in London. And now it's all over the internet. You can just pull up everything and see the people that were murdered and read their stories, and a million people have investigated. But I did read about this guy in passing because it was listed with the cemetery, and honestly, I think he's really a good candidate. And it's scary. And just to give you an idea of why I think that is that he had the internal organs of people in jars that he would display. He traveled around. He was like a snake oil salesman, and he was a misogynist. So that last bit that I just said is kind of connected to that, and his hatred of women. I don't want to get too graphic about it, but he traveled the United States. He traveled in London and in Europe, selling this stuff. He got arrested many times. And when I first saw the picture of him, I thought, this guy looks too friendly. You know, this guy probably just was accused wrongly, and he's really a nice guy. But then you find out that he really did have a rap sheet. As a matter of fact, he was arrested in association with the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. What happened was he was a close associate of a man that was found with John Wilkes Booth. He eventually ended up getting released, but he was arrested. I mean, this guy had a rap sheet a mile long, and went around. You know, he tried to do like a couple of surgeries, you know, and the people died, and then he was charged, and they were coming after him. I mean, just a whole bunch of weird stuff. Now, his name is Francis Tumuelty, and his grave is over here. Ugh. That would be weird. Would that not be weird if Jack the Ripper was buried in the United States? There's I think his parents are here. Doctor, see, they put doctor on here. Francis Tumuelty died May 28th, 1903, aged 73 years. So that's hard to get. Yeah. He came back to Rochester and lived apparently like with an elderly relative, and lived out his days there. You can see, if you're looking for the grave, I found it hard to find because, you know, there's a couple of sections 13. It's in section 13, and I only knew where it was because I saw the building in a photograph, and I drove around till I found the building. Back in the day, I did go to, I was in London, and I went through Madame Tussauds. Now, it was getting ready to close. There was hardly anybody there. I often haven't had stuff happen to me like this. But so I went in, and one of the exhibits they had at the time was a street in London. You know, the whole Whitechapel area of London was recreated, and it was like you were really walking down the street, and they had some like dry ice, you know, so that there was mist coming. And I walked through this thing. As I remember, it was kind of like in the bottom level. I don't want to say basement, but it was in the bottom level of Madame Tussauds, and which I think was near Baker Street. Anyway, so I walked through that all by myself, and it was a winter evening, so it was already dark outside, and I walked through that, and as you walk down, you hear, like, they had it recreated so that you would hear people talking and laughing and glasses clinking in the tavern and that kind of thing. And it was it was pretty freaky. So I mean, I hadn't known a heck of a lot about the Jack the Ripper case before I did that, and it was walking through there that made me look into it a little bit more. But I'll never forget walking through there. I mean, it's a horrible story, and we shouldn't dwell on these things. But some of the stuff is, you know, it's a part of history, and so we're drawn into reading it or reading about it, and so, you know, it's interesting. Honestly, I think that this guy is one of the top candidates for Jack the Ripper, and if he's not Jack the Ripper, he still was a really bad dude. I mean, he was one messed up dude, and I don't know, just weird. There's nothing here. There's nobody's put anything here, which is good. If they probably take it away if there is, but I don't know what anybody would put here. Maybe a black raven or something. You can see these pine trees around here are absolutely beautiful. They're so majestic. Oh, just beautiful. Holy Sepulchre Cemetery is many acres. There is a road, Lake Avenue, through Rochester. Like, at least with me, I came down through, there's a lot of deer poop here. If you come into Rochester, like I came past the Kodak plant, part of which is abandoned and part of which is used. I couldn't tell what I was looking at really, but and then you come down Lake Avenue, and Holy Sepulchre Cemetery is on both sides of the road. There's a decorative stone wall on each side. It's pretty impressive. If you want to Google it yourself, you can see the bizarre background of this man and come to your own conclusion. I don't know what the timing is on his time in London. I think he was confirmed, though, at least to have stayed in one of the same boarding houses in Whitechapel as one of the ladies that was murdered. So there he is. And I'm leaving him now. Alright, that's just creepy. Hello, ma'am. How are you doing today? He's just hanging. So apparently they have a statue of a angel playing pool here, and oh, okay, nope, she's not. I thought she was playing pool. That would be weird. Huh? What you doing? Requisite cat in a piece. Oh. Ooh. Oh. That's definitely different. Excuse me, what are you doing? We got a lot of coins there. Huh. Just hoping she doesn't answer. Hello. These are all very talkative statues. This definitely looks like a 30s or 20s piece here. To me, I don't know why. Huh. Okay. Good pickings at the cemetery. Good eating here, I guess. They spoke to me. Very nice. Hello. Bye-bye now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at this. There's a lot of deer here in the Holy Sepulchre Cemetery. What are you eating? Oh, some trash. They're like, what is that? What is that? So there is a pretty pond. There's a few pretty ponds here at Holy Sepulchre Cemetery. The deer are right behind me. So this is apparently where all the priests are buried. And this is the whole thing. Holy Sepulchre is all Catholic, which I'm kind of surprised. It must have been a huge Catholic population here in Rochester. There was not in my hometown community. My hometown community was predominantly Protestant. So it just seems funny. And apparently the turkeys here are even Catholic. So it's just really, really surprising. Okay, I'm not sure. Green burial. Okay. Okay, I don't even want to know what that means. Nice thing to put near a grave. I mean, if the cemetery allows it. That would be nice, huh? This is an old section. I've followed that hawk here. Okay, so I found the other grave I was looking for, and it's Anna Schumaker right here, 1909. She was coming right to this very spot to visit the graves of her father, and who died when she was 5, and a little sister, a baby. I don't know where that child is buried. So poor Anna had the misfortune of being born a pretty girl. So, and as is sadly sometimes the case, pretty girls become targets. And the poor kid, she was only 17 years old. She was coming to this very spot to put flowers at her father's grave and at her little sister's grave when the caretaker killed her. All they found was, and he buried her in a loose grave here in the cemetery. And there's pictures and stuff online. It was 1909. They had cameras, and it looked like she'd put up a good fight. So, God bless you, Anna. That's a horrible thing to be. I think she was the only person killed in the cemetery. And on that note, I can't remember where I parked. My God, where's my car? Just a note, this place is huge. There are people bicycling through it. It's not allowed in the cemeteries that I come from, but hey, there's people that bicycle through here. I saw electric bikes. There's a yellow light up there that's, I don't know if you can see it. It's a flashing light. It's on a security vehicle. Security here all the time. And there should be, because like I say, the place is giant. And so I'm sure people come here for all sorts of things.